Hi and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be having fun with an inverter because I'm upgrading my system in my micro camper and I'm adding a second battery, and so that's taking it from 1280 watt hours to 2560 watt hours. So obviously I've set these systems up before, and basically the inverter I had is one that I got and I have used on a bigger vehicle before. It's a 1,000 watt inverter, and that was working absolutely fine on just a single leisure battery that I've got in there at the moment. And so I've read through everything. The sizing's all going to be different, and straight away the way this inverter is wired is so the terminals are connected on the inside, whereas most inverters, terminals are connected on the outside, pretty much all of them now. But this inverter is maybe a few years old, and that wasn't the case. It's made by Maplins. I'll tell you what the actual name on it is when I have a look in a moment. So I thought, okay, I need to put bigger cables on it because I wasn't happy with the cables that were on it. There's going to be a lot more power, double the power. So I thought, well, I'll just get the correct cables, look inside, connect them up, Bob's your uncle. And that's done. So I could have just added two more lugs on the outside, connected it that way, but I wanted to keep my connections down. So anyway, so I've opened this up, and to my surprise, more of a problem. So I'll show you that right now and we'll work it out together. Okay? Speak to you in a bit. Bye. So this is the inverter, 1,000 watt. It's by NIKKIA, NIKKIA. DC 12 volt, AC 230 volt, CE approved, all the usual stuff you'd look for. You got, that's your outlets, as you can see. It's got 2,000 peak on this, and there's your cables. I've taken these off. They basically just seal around there to go on there just for ease of this demonstration. And right, I will just very quickly take these screws out. I will speed this up possibly. I'm not going to do this all the way through, don't worry. So there you go, remove that. You've got 6 screws there. I only put 2 on there again for demonstration. This has got a whole lot of business going on in there. I've looked at some inverters and they're half empty of stuff. But this one, if you can see, I'm going to just show you. So basically the cables come through here. They go through this coil that you can see there. They must go through there. And then, if you can see that hole there, this here, as you can see, it's got solder on the bottom, should be firmly connected in that position inside that hole, and then soldered to the motherboard on the other side. When I undone it, that was barely connected. I had to use one of these to get the bolt off of it, and just the slightest touch, that was off, not connected. And the same with the positive wire, which would fit in that hole there. As you can see, positive, that would go in there. That was a bit better, but to be honest, after seeing that happen, I thought, well, I don't feel too safe using this. Anyway, I did persist. These are the original cables that come with it, which are 4 Org. and because I'm going up to a much higher power, really I've gone all the way up to, because it's an inverter, and the power, just because I've got a run on this as well, so the battery to battery is about just under 2 meters, which equates to 4 meters because you're including both the positive and the negative cable. So that's the way it's worked out. Now I know. And for the inverter, it's got, the 1,000-watt pull on it. You say you need the thicker cables, and these are 1 org. And I've double checked. That's what's recommended. They're about 1.2 meters, the inverter ones. Because of the dropout, that is what's recommended. Otherwise, things just aren't going to work properly, or just going to cause you problems. So I've got those cables ready to put on. As I said, normally inverters, you would literally just, I'm just going to pull this out from the coil. As you can see, even doing that is just not easy. So when you've got these in, which have got to be straight to go through and protect the wires, both of them, you're just restricting the area, and your area is there and there. And then on the other side, as you can see already with those thinner cables, which, as I said, are 4 org, you've got to be a bit of a what is the word? Look at this. So really, the only way you can get this sorted is you take these off. So I've not done this before. This was an unpleasant surprise for me, because I ordered everything ready to go, get it all figured out, presuming I was going to use this same inverter, because I know it's absolutely fine for the 1 battery setup. I know you can add, as I say, other cables to it. Just because of the way this was set up, I wanted to do it direct and cut down on cables so it's a cleaner run. But ordinarily, what you would have would be your connections on the outside down here, so then you can have your heavy duty cable connecting to that. But with that, it wasn't an option on this, so I would have had to just cut these original ones down on the outside, put another lug on it, and then connected it up. But so, because I just want to keep things clean, that's the way I want to do it. And after seeing the way this was, I thought there's no way I'm gonna just bodge it. So basically, I'm going to show you how to repair this, but meanwhile I've ordered another Renogy 1,000-watt, and you can basically connect your heavy duty, and they actually recommend the heavier duty ones if you're using it over a distance, which you've got to calculate. But so that should hopefully eliminate a lot of the problems. So I'm just going to take all the screws out of this. I'm not going to show you me doing that, because that is just that's boring. Even speeded up is boring. Anyway, so I will cut again there, and I'll show you how it all looks once I've got it apart. So here's where I'm at. I've undone loads and loads of screws, which gives me access to this. And then on the other end, still attached, supposedly, the motherboard should now slide right out. The reason I say should is because it doesn't want to. So I've done all the obvious things, giving it a bit of a pull here all the way down. This should literally just slide out, push out nice and smoothly, no problem. Only it seems they have stuck this, they've glued this into place. So I don't think I'm going to be able to fix this, which is really annoying. As you can see, these two lugs that I've got here, hopefully you can see that, they've got the slightest amount of solder on there, and then it's all the way on the very end over there, and obviously they would be in those slots, one each side. But the way this would have been done, again, if I could slide this out, I was just going to turn it over, get the solder and let it run through the hole to make a decent seal and join, which will anchor this into place. And the same with the other side, the positive. But as you can see, unless I can get this motherboard out, there's no way of actually fixing this, which is a real pain for the sake of a tiny amount of solder. That is possibly this goosed. I might try and run it through the top, but I don't think that will work, because it really needs to be joined from underneath and then let it run through. So I'm going to leave it there until I figure out what to do. Fun, fun, fun. So a little bit of brute force and ignorance. I literally pulled these metal bits apart a bit further, and I'm glad to say I've managed to move it. So now you can see what I was talking about. Just there, you can see these two studs, or lug studs. See, this is what I was saying. There is the soldered joint just there. That's why I had to get underneath here to do that and do the other one. So it's literally just the solder holding these in place, which, you know, I guess, not knowing a huge amount about these things, I guess that's the way it works. But the thing is, when you're trying, just move that out of the way, to add a cable, so this is on the motherboard underneath. So when you're trying to add this cable and bolt this down, obviously you need a certain amount of tightness. So the solder really isn't a strong bond. It's quite brittle. So when I put this all back together, I will be very gentle. And obviously it works when they done it the original time. So fingers crossed. I will figure it out, and I'll get back to you. And yeah, I'll do that. See you in a bit. So I'll just show you the once over this. I've replaced the coil here, and both of these wires are coming through it, and you can see there and there. I've soldered the motherboard completely now, and it all looks pretty good. And you might be able to see that little bit of blue on these, and another earthing strap through here. So any of the important wires which have been soldered and then glued to make sure that nut doesn't come undone, I've done exactly the same. I've replaced everything I've removed, and sorry. And yeah, so I'm just going to put the lid back on it, and then I'll stick it on a battery and just do a basic test on it. I'm not going to put a load on it. I'm just going to plug it in, make sure everything comes on and nothing goes pop. Anyway, I shall do that now and let you have a look in a moment. So as you can see, I've connected the inverter with the two 4-AUG cables to a battery, and I've plugged the lamp into that. So everything's all connected. Before anyone says, I haven't put a fuse on this inverter. There'd normally be one there, but this is literally just for testing, just to test that what I've done works, and the inverter is now working. It also have an earth on it. Hasn't got an earth on it. As I say, this is just for demonstration purposes. So I'll just adjust you and turn it on. We have power and we have light. There we go. So minimal load for the light, as I say, because it hasn't got a fuse on it. No earth. So that's it. And basically what was kind of not working at all is now back to life. And yeah, I'm just going to pause, and I will say my goodbyes. So yes, as I was saying, that's the inverter fully working now. I'm glad to say, could have gone the other way. Was a bit fiddly diddly, but I more than made sure that those studs were fully soldered on and they were nice and strong. And yeah, it's all together now, so that's something else I've learned to do. I'm not going to be using that for myself because I've just bought a new Renogy one because it's a bigger system. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to fix this, but I have anyway. So I've got a friend that's got a boat and he wants some wiring done on that. So I might say to him, if you fancy an inverter, have a go with this one. And he has got a power station on there, which obviously you've got to keep charging, and in the winter not so good. So this would do him quite well. Just connect straight to his battery and off he goes. So hopefully this video has been of some use to you. It's an experience for me. I haven't done a video for a little while now, but I've got a few coming along. I've been busy with other things, family, various things like that. Anyway, if you would like to sort of, yeah, contemplate subscribing, that would be fantastic. And ring that bell. And give me a like, that'd be fantastic. As I say, it's always worth checking out these things, and not quite as complicated as you think. As I say, that was just sort of taking it apart, putting it together, and just make sure everything was tight and fully tested and ready to go. So thank you very much. See you in the next one. Bye.